super readers and writers. You guys have been doing an awesome job of looking at the first sound in a word and then blending it with the word part at the end. Like the word part at that you hear in the word mat, or the word part app that you hear in the word cap, or the word part an that you hear in the word ran, the word part it that you hear in the word lit, the word part in that you hear in the word pin, and even the word part ought that you hear in the word pot. You guys know how to say the first sound of the word and then put it together with the word part to read the whole word. Like the word part at. If it has an H in front of it that says, this word says at hat. This is the word hat. But if we change the first sound to an M, this says at, mat, mat. If we change the M to a B, this word says b, at, bat. If we change the B to an S, this says s, at, sat. If we change the S to an R, this word says r, at, rat. If we change the R to a C, this word says k, at, cat. We didn't have to go through and sound out all of the letters like this. K, t. No, that would take too long to do it every time we wanted to read or write a new word. Instead, we looked at the word part, at. At is the word part, and we put it together with the first sound. K, at, cat. I'm so excited to get started with our super reading and writing work today because we got a letter from Mabel. I know it's from Mabel because at the very bottom it says, sincerely, Mabel. That means from Mabel. It starts out to us. It says, dear super writers. And I noticed in this letter, all of the words that have word parts like at, it, ought, in, and are underlined on this letter. So let's read this letter and then look at those underlined words. Don't stop. Don't stop. Here's a tip. Use word part power. You can spell hop and top. Just use op. Let's go back and look at the underlined words in this letter. This is the word op. Stop. This is the word stop. The word stop has the word part op in it. So we know if we see op again, we will read it like this. Op. I see another op word right here. There's op, but right in front of it is, let's put those together to read the word. Op, hop. So this word with the word part op is hop. This word with the word part op is stop, stop. Let's try to read another one. Oh, let's look at this one. This word looks like it has the word part ip. I see the vowel next to the consonant at the end. That's the word part. It says ip. So this word is ip, tip. This is the word tip. Let's see if we can find one more word with a word part. Another op word, just like when we read stop, that had op in it, and hop, that had op in it. Now we know the word top has the word part op in it. Look, we can lasso it. It has O-P, op. It has t in front. So the word is op, top. This is the word top. It sounds a lot like hop and stop because they have the same word ending. Op, op, op. They just have a different beginning sound. While we read Mabel's letter, we found 2 new word parts that can help us read and write tricky words that aren't on the word wall. Like how in the words stop and hop and top, Mabel used the word part up. That that tells me we could probably use the word part op on our word part chart. The word part op, like we hear in top or hop or stop, starts with the ah sound that O makes. So let's put it under the O vowel on our word part chart, right under the word part ought. We also found another word part, ip, like in the word tip. The first sound in tip is t. The word part in tip is ip. If we added an S to the beginning of the word part ip, it would say sip. If we added a B to the word part ip, it would say bip. If we added a Z to the word part ip, it would say zip. Let's add the word part ip to our word part chart. The word part ip starts with the I sound that I makes. So I'm gonna put it under the vowel I, right under it and in. Now we have the word part ip, like we hear in ship or sip or lip, to use whenever we want to read or write. And we have the word part op, like we hear in top and stop and hop, to use whenever we need to read or write. Today I want to teach you that to write short words that aren't sight words, that aren't those words we know in a snap, it helps to read the first sound and then the word part. Like this. In the word cat, we read the first sound. Then we read the word part, at. This is the word cat. If we put an H here, we would read the first sound and then the word part, at, hat. This is the word hat. If we put a B in front of at, we would read the first sound, B, and then the word part, at, and then put it together, bat. Let's try one more that I know we already know. Let's try the letter R. Let's make the first sound, R, and then say the word part, at, and then put it together, rat. Let's read some pictures together, because super readers can read words and pictures that might use some of our word parts that we just learned. What do you think this is a picture of? It's a balloon, but it's doing something. What is it doing? It's popping. So this is the word pop. What word part do you hear in the word pop? For the first sound, I hear p. Then I hear op. The word part is op. So this word is p, op, pop. And look on the back. We can lasso the word part. The first sound is p. And then say the word part, op. Put it together, pop. Let's try another one. This word also has the word part op in it. This is a picture of a top. Let's say the first sound in top. T. Now let's lasso the word part, op, top. This is the word top. Let's try it with another picture. This is a cop. Let's say the first sound, k, and then the word part, op, cop. This is the word cop. We found the word part, op. Let's try another. Stop. The first sounds that we hear are s, t, op, stop. The first sounds in stop are st, and the word part is op. We put it all together to read the word stop. Can you try this one on your own? If you need a hint, it starts with the sound. This is a mop. Let's say the first sound together. Now let's say the word part. Op. Mop. We said the first sound. And then we lassoed the word part. Op. Then we put it all together. Mop. Let's try one more. This time let's look at the word and see if we can read it. Op. Hop. This is the word hop. I want you to picture the word part op in your head. Try to picture it in your head. It has a round O and a fall letter P. It sounds like this. Op. Are you picturing the word part op in your head? Here's op. If we added a T at the beginning of op, it would say op, top. If we added a Z at the beginning of op, it would say z, op, zop. If we added an M to the beginning of op, it would say op, mop. What do you think the word would be if we added an S to the beginning of op? S, op, sop. Okay, so you guys seem like you know how to find the word part op to help you make new words, like with hop, mop, stop, cop, top, and pop. All of those words use the word part op, and they just put a new sound at the beginning to make a new word. We learned the word part op from Mabel's letter, but Mabel's letter also had a word with the word part ip, like in ip, tip. So let's look at some pictures that have the word part ip in them. I'm going to show you the picture, and then we're going to read the word. Ip, hip. This is the word hip. I'm going to show you another one. Look at the picture. Oh, look at the picture. Now let's read the word. D, ip. Put it together. Dip. This is the word dip. Look at the picture. Remember, it has the word part ip in it. What word do you think this is? Let's read the word. T, ip. Put it together. Tip. Let's try another. Look at the picture. Now let's read the word. S, ip. Put it together. Sip. Let's try a couple more. What do you think this one is? It has the word part ip in it. Let's read it. L, ip. Put it together. Lip. This is the word lip. Last one. R, ip. Put it together. Rip. All of those words used the word part ip. If we put a Z in front of the word part ip, it would say zip. If we put a P in front of the word part ip, it would say pip. If we put a Y in front of the word part ip, it would say yip. What do you think it would say if we put a B in front of the word part ip? It would say bip. Let's try putting different letters or sounds in front of the word part op, like we hear in the word top, to make new words. C makes the k sound. So this says k, op. Put it together. Cop. Let's try another one. Letter M makes the sound. So this says op. Mop. Letter B makes the b sound. So this says b, op, bop. Letter H makes the h sound. So this says op, hop. Letter S makes the s sound. So this says s, op, sop. That's a silly word, but we can still put it together and read it. This is the letter R. Letter R makes the r sound. So this says r, op, rop. Another silly word, but we can still read it by reading the first sound and then the word part. Let's try that with our other new word part, ip, like we hear in the word ship. Let's put a sound in front of it, put it together, and read it. Letter H makes the h sound. So this says ip, hip. That's a real word. Letter B makes the b sound. So this says b, ip, bip. That's a silly word, but we can still read it by putting the first sound and the word part together. Letter M makes the sound, so this says ip, mip. It's a silly word, but we still read it like super readers. Letter C makes the k sound, so this says k, ip, kip. Letter R makes the r sound, so this says r, ip, rip. Last one, letter S makes the s sound, so this says s, ip, sip. It's time for Fast Phonics. Hi guys, let's get started by reading the vowel sounds and then those words that we know in a snap before we learn a brand new word. A, apple. E, egg. I, igloo. O, octopus. U, umbrella. Now let's read our words that we know in a snap. I, can. The, see. We, me. A, like. To, and. Go, you. Now we can look at the letter and the word that we're going to study today. This is the Dolphin Card. The Dolphin Card starts with the sound d, that's made by the letter D. Dolphin starts with the letter D and the d sound. The name of this letter is D. The sound that it makes is d, like at the beginning of dolphin, or dog, or doll, or dad. What's the name of this letter? D. What's the sound? D. I'm going to make an uppercase and a lowercase d because that's the letter that makes the d sound like we hear at the beginning of the word dolphin. I'm going to start with my uppercase D. Uppercase D is tall because uppercase letters are always tall. It starts at the top. We go down and then around. Let's write our uppercase D. It's tall, so we start at the top, go down, all the way down, and then around. Lowercase d is also tall. We go around, up, and down. So let's start at the dotted line. We go around, up, and down. Uppercase D, lowercase d. They're both tall. Now let's read some words that start with the D sound, like in dolphin. This is the letter D. It says D, like dolphin. This is the letter A. It says A, like apple. This is the letter D. It says D, like dolphin. Let's read the sounds. D, A, D. Dad. What's the word? Dad. This is the letter D. It says D, like dolphin. This is the letter O. It says A, like octopus. This is the letter T. It says T, like turtle. Let's read the sounds. D, A, T. Dot. What's the word? Dot. This is the letter D. It says D, like dolphin. This is the letter O. It says A, like octopus. This is the letter G. It says G, like gorilla. Let's read the sounds. D, A, G. Dog. What's the word? Dog. Our word today is do. It looks a lot like our word to, but it has a D in front. Do. Read it with me. Do. Now let's spell it. D-O, do. Now let's sing spell it. D-O, do. Now let's whisper spell it. D-O, do. Now let's spell it like a scary monster. D-O, do. Now let's spell it like a whiny baby. D-O, do. Now let's spell it like we're really excited about it. D-O, do. Now let's write the word do. The word do starts with a tall lowercase d. So it's going to go all the way to the top line. We go around, up, and down for our lowercase d. Lowercase o goes around. This is the word do. We might use the word do like this. We do want to go. I can help you do it. Now let's read a story that uses our new word do. This story is called Sid. Do Sid and Mom like it? Sid and Mom do like it. Dad can tap, tap on a door. Dot can tap, tap on a door. Dot and Dad can sip. Todd can tap, tap on a door. Sid and Todd pat a ball. Learned that when we read words that have word parts like at in cat, or ought in pot, or the ip in ship, it helps to read the first sound, then the word part, then put it together. Like the word cat, at, cat, or the word sit, it, sit. We say the first sound, then the word part, then we put it together to read the word.